Progress is not achieved by luck or by accident, but by working on yourself daily. Hi friends! Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, it is my dream to be an entertainer. So if you are at all entertained by this video, please like it and consider subscribing for more content. So as illustrated by the quote I used in the intro by Epictetus, this idea has been around for at least since the 1st of the century, if not longer. So nothing I say should be completely mind-blowing, but I think it's important to bring it up because even though it's a, common sense ideology, it's often forgotten when we actually go about our lives. So I know this is very relevant and prevalent to me, and so I thought that kind of bringing this up as a discussion might help others, especially as we head into the new year. So what am I referring to? I am actually talking about the idea that working for and on yourself is selfish. Now, originally when I was thinking about doing this video, because I do a lot of introspection and I'm like, would that make a good video? Because I also want to be an entertainer and content creator. I was really gonna make this focused on me specifically and how I feel super guilty for following my dream. It's just that. It's laid out plain and simple. So my personal story, and I'll give you the 20-second debrief. I live with my sister. We actually bought a house together because we are best friends. We call each other soul twin. We are not actual twins, but we're called the girls. Like even in our community, people who did not know us growing up still refer to us as the sisters or the girls. And we are not girls anymore, like we are women, but we're a package, right? We've lived on our own, we've done our own thing, but we're best friends, so why not hang out with your best friend all the time? And so a part of that is, doing life's difficult things, chores, daily life and stuff like that. And so kind of like a married couple would separate, split the chores and stuff. That's what we do, right? And so for a while I had been working a real career job, like office job, like, hey, I have, name plaque on my, office door, that kind of thing. But I was very, very unhappy. Very unhappy. I could make that its own thing, but I won't go that dark and deep in this video. But I will say that because of my sister's support and understanding, we came up with an agreement that worked for us specifically, where she would be the traditional breadwinner and I would be the traditional housewife, so to speak. So I do work 40 hours a week or more, usually more, towards voiceover. As you know now, I actually work daily doing voiceover things as an audiobook narrator, and I also do some other whiteboard animations, mobile app games, that kind of stuff, right? But it's a struggle to make it be what I originally had, where like I had a 401k, or I could have set it up, I never did, but like it's a shell shock type of experience. And I joke, but it's actually real that I work full time, but I make the amount that, a high schooler at a fast food restaurant would make, which is fine, not knocking that as a job. But I'm going into a specialty and I'm as a freelance, as a new business, it's a miracle I make any income at first, right? And I'm making strides and it is growing and I am seeing it grow, but I need to see it grow immediately, right? So we're going along. As I said, I am full-time voiceover artist. I actually work about 10-hour days every single day. I usually do take the weekends off, but of course if something comes up, I'm not going to tell a client no. And I'm doing my thing. But there is that part of me where, because I work for myself, I could work until 2 o'clock in the morning editing something so I can sleep in till 9 o'clock, and so I feel bad because I don't have anyone I need to report to. And so suddenly I feel like I'm lazy and selfish. I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't really have to answer to anyone about what I did during the day. And of course, if you know me or my sister will be the first to say, I do keep myself busy. I am always doing stuff, and every time I'm like I'm doing too much, I always bite something else off. For example, I'm now doing a part-time contract gig with the office job that I left because I'm really great at organization and they needed some organizational data entry stuff that I'm helping out with because I always leave on good terms. But it feels selfish to finally put my wants and desires first because I have always tried to do what the norm, the society, whatever you want to call it, even if it is my own mental block, what is a responsible member of society, right? I need to have that job that I can put away for retirement. I can support my family with it. Like my parents, like I want to help them retire. I've always dreamed about like buying the house outright and all this kind of stuff. And just really supporting my entire family, paying for college for my nieces and nephew. And um, and so I keep pushing for that. I keep wanting to finally feel like it's enough. And no other job ever has given me that satisfaction. And I say that because I feel so fulfilled every time I do a project for voiceover. Even a silly 10-second tagline, that's only going to be heard online or on YouTube or something. Like, I love it, Even the audiobooks I'm reading now, they're romance. Most of them are romance novels. And, people might be like, that's not good literature. But I enjoy bringing the characters and the story to life. So even though it's now not bringing in the income, I'm getting the satisfaction that I want. So is it selfish to go after what you want? So that's my story. It was longer than 20 seconds, but I wanted to tell you where I was coming from with this. And then I decided I want to actually make this a bit more broad in terms of who this could actually help, because not everybody has the same situation where I have, worked many jobs, many high jobs, management, positions, and start from scratch because that doesn't make you happy, like over and over and over again. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you grow up, you want to be a vet when you were 2 and you're now, 52 and you're happy to be a vet. But it can also still be relevant to you in terms of focusing on yourself and not only just the self-respect of giving yourself the freedom to just be alone and not entertain other people, or do something that breathes life and vigor back into your daily struggle, even though it's not technically, helpful in any way, right? So I wrote up some thoughts that I wanted to read to you now. So if you see me looking over, I'm still trying to get that situated, but here we go. If you followed my story in even the slightest way, it'll come as no surprise to you to learn that I have taken the long way around in terms of finding an entry point into my dream career. This was not for lack of trying on my part, but rather being too logical. By guarding myself and calculating the most responsible actions I could take, I limited the opportunities I could seek out. And I'm willing to bet you are either actively experiencing this or can relate to a time in your life where you struggled with this. And if not, consider yourself very blessed. Since my adolescence and early adult life, I always considered the notion of going after what I wanted as being selfish. Why sew that dress when you could do the dishes? What's the point of auditioning for that play when that time would be better put to use working a part-time job? How could you possibly go after your dream when a salaried career can all but guarantee you a stable life? It seems rather straightforward and simple when you put it to paper, doesn't it? Another aspect of this would be the societal lesson that we should be respectable, dependable, and kind to others. Playing a video game isn't helpful to your mother who needs chores to be done. And before you riot, no, I am not saying that these ideas are inherently wrong, but our minds tend to use and abuse them, corrupt them, if you will, until it is our own hardest obstacle to overcome. So I am here to tell you, putting yourself first isn't egotistical. Self-respect and setting boundaries isn't selfish. Self-care isn't indulgence. As Robert Louis Stevenson said, there is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. We deserve to feel fulfilled and satisfied with life, to feed our passions that most religious followers would say is a sign from the divine of the path you are meant to follow. While most of my examples have been rather basic, I know we can all apply them to our individual lives. For me, I spent years, a decade, as disgusted as I am to say it, fighting against my passion, telling myself that if I just give my dream the side hustle treatment, that it'll all work out if it's meant to be. And that just isn't right. Yes, we must make sure we can put food on the table and pay our bills. But why must we settle simply for the sake of what society deems secure? If you get more enjoyment working 80 hours as a freelancer than you do 40 hours as an office receptionist, who is to say which option is right for you? But you yourself. Why do we somehow universally agree that it's all right to binge watch TV every night for multiple hours at a time, but not all right to take an afternoon to paint or learn another life skill that catches your interest? In truth, bettering yourself, whether it's letting your creativity off its leash with a hobby or learning a new skill or craft, can actually benefit those closest to you and, in turn, your community as a larger whole. It is all right to tell someone you cannot meet up because you have to prioritize something else for yourself. There's nothing wrong with seeking out what calls to you and trying new things, even if you fail, even if nothing comes of it. I would like to now share with you an excerpt from my blog published on October 16th, 2018, titled, "What's the Alternative?" Quote within a quote, "Don't waste your time in anger, regrets, worries, or grudges. Life is too short to be unhappy." Roy T. Bennett, unquote. It wasn't all a waste. In fact, now that it's over, I find myself oddly thankful. I have learned so much about myself, good and bad, and I am eager to let go and move on, upwards and onwards. Quote, "There comes a time when the world gets quiet and the only thing left is your own heart. So you'd better learn the sound of it. Otherwise, you'll never understand what it's saying." Sarah Dessen, Just Listen. There are many things I wish to say, but only a few would truly understand. Instead, I will say that I have a passion in my soul that cannot be extinguished. When it is held captive, it burns so fiercely inside that I fear I will combust. I did not let that happen this time. I have found avenues to express myself. In writing, and of course, the reason for this blog, voice acting. Only time will tell if this will be enough. I need it to be enough. The alternative. Boy, I was certainly feeling expressive, wasn't I? But the point was as clear as crystal then as it is now. Our life is ours to live. We mustn't let external beliefs or traditions stop us from our calling. A slight tangent, but Gretchen Rubin has a similar thought that I feel compelled to share. Quote, "The belief that unhappiness is selfless and happiness is selfish is misguided. It's more selfless to act happy. It takes energy, generosity, and discipline to be unfailingly lighthearted. Yet everyone takes the happy person for granted." End quote. It's almost as if those who actually are capable of living for themselves are seen as conceited and selfish, when in fact, if it were easy to live that way, wouldn't we all be doing it? I have to remind myself daily that I am not being selfish by working as a freelance voiceover artist, that it isn't wrong to prioritize my precious limited quiet time, that while my friends may enjoy spending time with me, and I treasure the moments I can have with them, true support means accepting the sacrifices that come with achieving a goal or a dream. You can't sleep in until noon if you want to go antiquing at garage sales. You shouldn't binge on IHOP every day if you're training to run a marathon. And likewise, you shouldn't compromise your comfort to satisfy the whims of others. Here is a thoughtful quote I actually wrote myself. Life is precious, and it's fleeting. It may be inconvenient or uncomfortable to step out and experience it, but that's what it's all about, to live while you can. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was more of like an essay, what goes on in my head type of a thing, but I really do think it's an important point, and I still don't know if I really expressed it completely. But what I'm trying to say, it's a lot like the concept of the spoons, right? You have a certain amount of spoons, which are energy, to use in the day. But, basically you can use a spoon to go food shopping or to paint a picture, and you have to prioritize. And sometimes you have to do things that you don't enjoy doing because you just have to get that done. But other times, things have equal, value, and you can decide what you want to do at that time. And to that point, I know what I'm saying kind of sounds like it is contradicting itself. But basically, putting yourself first also includes putting your mental health and emotional health first as well. So yes, you should make sure, you have time set aside to do a hobby. Let's say video games, right? But if that hobby becomes an obsession and you play so long you forget to eat and you pee your pants, that's not good either. So there needs to be that balance where you're like, this is no longer healthy for me. I need to step aside and do something else. And I know it sounds like I'm talking about something specific. I'm just melding together all of my life experiences where I felt like a bad friend because I didn't go hang out 3 days a week because I need to do side projects that I've been wanting to get done. Or even small things, like I really want to grow my YouTube channel and, both this one and my gaming channel. And that also takes sacrifice, but it's important to me. So no, I can't go to the arcade and play video games till 4 o'clock in the morning because I have to edit my video and then get up in the morning and, do it all over again. Everything within moderation, but staying true to yourself in all aspects, I think is really important, where you just prioritize yourself. And that doesn't mean that you don't help others, that you don't, okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and read this book. I'm going to go pick up my younger sibling from school. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. So sometimes you do have to put people first, but it is within moderation, and every situation is different. You don't have to go over to someone's house and play video games just because it's a Saturday and you don't have to work on Saturday. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to get some stuff done or just stay home and recoup, So anyway, that was long-winded, but I hope I made sense. I hope this is relatable, and I just, again, think it needs to be a larger discussion. I am very much an advocate for mental health awareness and self-care, self-love. My podcast was pretty much all about that. And now it is officially, the 100th episode released. So now I'm officially out of that for the foreseeable future. But it's still very much important to me. Mindfulness has helped me in so many ways, and maybe I will make a video about that someday. But I just thought that this would be a nice little breather from storytime silliness from me. It's not quite, voiceover. It's tangential. That word, parallel. No, this is parallel. This is parallel. Stay in school, kids. I say that, but I did stay in school. I got great grades, and I even got a bachelor's degree. So I did stay in school, and I still don't know what the word is for this. Parallel adjacent. There was also that time that I forgot what sound a cow makes, so I don't think it's really intelligent so much as something else. Anyway, I did research a little bit just to make sure what I was saying was accurate, as I always try to do. So I do have a few articles down in the description below, both the blogs that I refer to for my own self and also some other articles that I found, like where the quotes and stuff came from. So feel free to look at that stuff. And remember that you are loved, You are worthy, and whatever you are struggling with today will pass. Until next time, stay crazy.